Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast. Episode number, as night follows day, episode number 261. With me, George, and this week joined by RGT. Large piece to my small one. How's it going, sir?
Very well. Yeah, very well indeed. How about you?
I am literally right now living my best life. I've had a couple of
Mm,
don't know where that was going to go.
I
I've
was
had
worried.
yeah, I am as well. I was about to take us off on a tangent that, in an alternate universe somewhere we just got cancelled. But right now, I'm having a great day. At time of recording, it's a Saturday, not our
hmm
usual Thursday.
No.
Um, so I'm very chillaxed. I've had the day to wind down. I need to remember that this new era is heel George, jaded George. So um, not only have I had a good day, I hate you.
Wow, that's a strong start.
Mm.
Is it,
Mhm.
are you having a good day because you've realised you hate me, or
I don't actually hate you. It's just part of the jaded persona, I
I know,
suppose.
but I thought, well, let's get to the bottom of this.
Well, yeah, you've already bottomed it right out. We've hit
Oh,
the
okay.
very depths of where I'm at. I don't hate you. I just don't like you
Dislike
all.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just dislike me. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. It's the only way's up.
Oh wow, this has got classic. This has got classic written all over it. I was going to call it a gangbanger, but I don't feel that's probably the right
Bit
word to
early for
use.
that term, but
Yeah.
hmm.
Okay. Wheeling Mrs. RGT. Uh,
Anyway.
this is the 18 plus era. No, is it? I don't know
I
anymore.
don't know if we've jumped up to an 18 plus yet, but you might be taking it there.
To be honest, I've fingered round the edge, but I've not gone in.
What?
RGT,
I don't
contractually, you're
know.
obliged to bring Jaded George once a month, a hidden gem.
Yeah,
Do we have one today?
no. I have got one which is nearly ready, but no, that's not yet. I like to try and space them 4 weekly. So you wait till the 4 weeks are up, and then you'll get your hidden gem. Until
With
then,
okay.
you will wait.
You tell me the reality I perceive, and I'll tell you the reality that's actually happening. And I've waited 4 weeks. I know I have,
No,
surely.
no, no.
It can't have been 4 weeks since I crouched on that floor and sang RGT yet, is
That
it?
is. Well, I think it'll be next week. I think it is. Yeah,
Okay.
it's next week since we had. That's 4 weeks since we had fired up. So
If this is your first time tuning in, don't you panic. This is, as I mentioned at the top of the show, a weekly gaming podcast. We've got the insults out the way. Um, everyone's living their best life, and you know, welcome is all I can say. Without any further ado, because I think we've got to the position where I've got to ask you, what have you been playing?
a little bit boring, to be honest, this week.
Hmm. Okay.
I basically played a little bit more Lego City Undercover. Um,
Anyone that survived my rather hokey cokey rough ass intro has just arrived at the point where they've decided that enough's enough.
hmm um, yeah, and to be honest, I don't blame them. Oh, I don't blame them. Gaming podcast, and I dropped straight in with Lego City Undercover for the third week on the trot.
Absolute
Um,
animal.
yeah, so I played a bit more of that. It's basically just been time restraints really because I've really enjoyed it. I just really want to sit down and play. Although me and as I did promise last week, me and Mrs. RGT have downloaded Firewatch, and she's playing that tonight as we're recording this. So we have got some drinks ready, and we're going to play Firewatch. So
No pressure, Mrs. RGT, but the assembled world will be watching you
yeah,
find your way through the first few hours of Firewatch.
yep. And I've also played some more Dishonored, done a few more missions on there. I'm
Oh,
really enjoying that.
yeah. Tell
That's a
me about
good.
your Dishonored experience.
Well, I played some more. I think it was yesterday, or the day before. But anyway, I had to find this woman to speak to within sort of the city, but obviously you're a wanted man, so you had to go rather stealthily through the city.
Mm.
Um, and I'm still learning the mechanics. But I must say, for a PS3 game, and I am playing on PS3 hardware on a modern TV,
Yeah.
looks really good. And sometimes you find with, especially the older games, I mean, my TV's 65 inch, so it can sometimes make things look a bit
Your
pixely.
TV.
Mm,
Mm.
obviously, um, because
Six and
it's
a half.
65. Yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, six and a half. I'm over the moon with, but yeah. But this looks really good. This does look really good and plays really well. I mean, I suppose as well, apart from if you're like melee combat, sort of hand to hand, you are sort of stealthily moving around. You are going quite slow at times. But yeah, so I've been doing this mission there, but I've sort of gone off on a tangent and been finding these sort of hidden treasures and I can't remember what they're called, like the little sort of urns you find with the drinks in that you can take. I can't remember what they're bloody called now, but you know what I mean.
Crafties.
Yeah, crafties. Yeah, I've been finding the free brews, right? But yeah, just been loving it. Stealthily sort of creeping up, taking a few people out. Um, I did have one error which made the family laugh, which was there was so many army guys round by this boat near a harbour, which was moored up, and I thought, right, wait till that one walk off, then oh matey there is getting it. So I crept up behind the crate, there he was, done. I thought, right, well, I'm gonna hide the body because the other guy's gonna see the body when he comes back.
Wait.
So
Oh, you decided he was getting it. What, just because he was on his own and it was an easy stealth takedown?
yeah, made me feel
Yeah.
a bigger boy. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
I just
so
thought you. I just thought you said you saw a guy there stood on his own. He's getting it, which sounded like a zip, and I didn't know.
no, them those are behind me. So then so then I thought I'll carry his body, get rid of him, right?
Yeah.
Threw him over, forgetting
Yeah.
that the boat was moored next to the jetty, which which ended up with him being wedged with his legs doing a V shape, sticking up in the air, which I couldn't resolve. So I just hope, luckily enough, when his mate come back, he didn't actually notice these pair of trousers and
You,
boots
you gotta
akimbo.
love stealth video game.
That's that sort of ragdoll mechanics where when you drop them, they're just complete
It's the
ragdoll. But
combination of if you're like Last of Us, for an example, if you're sneaking around and your colleague is just basically standing up in full view, sitting down, knocks a can in front of you, knocks the bin over, they're
mm,
fine. Can't be
yeah,
heard. You look at a pebble and it's like, what was that?
yeah.
We'd
And
better investigate.
And the thing was, I had a bit of a first world modern gamer problem. I thought George is going to love this. I'm going to screenshot it. What button screenshot on a PS3? 'Cause so I paused it. Where's screenshot on a? Yeah, you don't get screenshots on a PS3. So that was nearly going
Actually,
to.
there is a way in there.
Is it
I could have sworn there was a button combination, but I might have just been, I don't know, a bit too near an open glue pot, if
community
I'm honest.
corrections? Community corrections. If there's
Mm.
one, let us know because
I thought at least on some titles there was a button combination you could press to take a screenshot on PS3, but I could be misremembering it.
I,
So,
I actually reached for the top right of the D-pad, sort of like looking for that share button, and I was like, oh
wow.
yeah. But yeah, so anyway, really, really enjoying that so far. Want to have some more time with it. And I know I always say this when I play PS3, but for a game that's a pound 50, I mean, you can't go far wrong, really, can you?
No, you
Why
can't. You
these
literally
games are
can't.
cheap, and if you're a collector, get them now because there's so many heavy hitters on the 360 or
And
PS3.
to be fair, within reason, still quite the beautiful looking game. Like Dishonored's a great example. Really nice art style, really well executed. The levels have been formulated to make it look as good as it can at any one moment. And I
Mm,
just think to myself, like, wow. And I know there's this big hubbub on the internet now. I've seen a million videos pop up on my YouTube feed about why did graphics look better 20 years ago than they do now. And I think I always think that's a strong thing to say.
mm,
And, I was watching a Digital Foundry video. They made some good points about how, oh, well, back then it was all kind of fake lighting, fake this, make it look as good as we can with what we're doing. Now we've moved to a place where we're trying to effectively do it in real time lighting, real time this, real time that.
Mm,
So there are times where it does look like, fundamentally, you could argue it does look worse,
mm,
but we're on the transition to a place where it looks better. And we're in that sort of gawky teenage phase, aren't we? 1 minute you feel like a kid, and then your voice breaks and you sound like Pavarotti. It's we're in. I think the consoles are in that moment right now where we're just in that transitional period where we're entering a better time, but the bumps along the road have been pretty rough. So yeah, PS3 to me, Xbox 360 included within this, still look absolutely stellar. If I found
mm.
myself locked in a room with a PlayStation 3 and Lego City Undercover, I guess I'd be pretty dismayed. But if there was another game there, I'd be stoked. I mean, I often go
Yeah,
back to the PS3 and feel pretty blown away by it, to be honest.
yeah, and I think you're right. I think a lot, especially nowadays, it's realism, ray trace and realism. They got to look as real as possible. PS3 360 area, that wasn't really a possible thing. Some games tried to get as realistic faces and bits and pieces, so you had to go stylistic. And
Mm.
the thing is, that's all sort of back in. You look at indie games and bits and pieces now, that look is in. So I think it was sort of you know, the when it was at its highest, I suppose, that stylistic sort of looking games. And I just think they look fantastic. I mean, I loved the look of Bioshocks when I played them. That they were awesome. And this is almost, it almost looks like it's made in the same engine. It's got that same look of the characters, but just in this sort of open world sort of city. And it does, it's a steampunk city. And I think when the game's done it right, when you're in there and you feel like you're in a steampunk city. All these little back alleys and corridors and bits and pieces. Really good. Yeah, so far good. And if I can complete the game, I'll definitely jump onto number two, I think, on the PS4. So that's a definite must for me. And
Nice.
the only other thing I have been playing is what I'm not going to say, which is my hidden gem. So I've been playing.
Comes in lording it up with this drivel. Okay, fair
Yeah,
play to you, old boy. Fair play to you, old bean. Uh,
drivel. Come on, then. What have you been playing?
Oh, well, first of all, two things. Let me stand up, spin my chair around like the cool kid in Neighbours.
Yeah.
I've done it, but it feels uncomfortable now, but I've now committed to it. Right, first of all, by the way, to the video viewers, yes, I have driven all the way to Liverpool to make sure I can get Bo Baloba's cap. I couldn't find my glasses, but I've grown the beard. I'm going Bran, right? I'm going Bran. That's what I'm doing.
Bran.
Yeah, I'm styling myself on Bo Baloba. He is our Discord moderator, but I tell you what, he's a devilishly handsome man.
Mm. And a finely dressed man as well.
A finely dressed, coiffured man.
And a finely tattooed man as well.
He's starting to get inked up. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm a bit scared. First tattoo I had was a compass and some fountain pen ink during GCSE history. Um,
I'd be worried if you said that you've still got that.
why do you think I'd ever get undressed in front of you?
Mm. Yeah, I did wonder.
Because for the law of the show, we live together like Bert and Ernie.
Mm. You do sleep fully dressed, which is a little odd, but
Sat next to each other, playing our respective handhelds.
which one's Bert? Which one's Ernie?
Oh, I don't even know. I identify as both of them at most times in my life, I should imagine. Right, where we're going to start, because yesterday I was back at the main residence, as you can see him here, aka the Mike Brewer pictures, aka
Hmm.
the gold disc record from a boy band days. Um, but I have left that alone for a while, but I jumped straight back in. I'm at the section where went up to Jorvik. I've done that. That was is starting to feel a little bit Assassin's Creedy at the moment. Though, go here, do this, pick this up. Oh, look, it's all the way over there. Guess where you got to go? I bet I know where I've got to do when I finish this. All the way back again.
Oh,
Oh, is there any much more of this? Anyway, I've gone back to see Ram V. Had a little altercation with my brother. Ramvi's a little devil actually, because she's like, "Oh, we have this thing where these people are disagreeing. Can you do it?" Straight away, Eivor goes, "It's not my place. That's my brother's place, Sigurd's place." She said, "Oh, Sigurd won't come out of his bedroom." So he goes, "Okay, yeah, I didn't have a choice in it." So he sits down and starts to hear this injunction between these two characters. Just as I make my decision, in comes Sigurd. "Oh, look at you. You didn't hang around. Straight in my seat, huh?" I'm like, wow. You're really trying to make me hate you. I had an option to sleep with your wife, my brother's wife, and I turned it down because I was trying to be good. I slaughtered someone because they said that I wasn't doing the right thing, and they pushed me into having to fight them. And then I offered him a chance to get out of it, and then he wouldn't take it, so I had to kill him. I have done some devilish things for you, and now you come out giving me this. Please give me a character I can like.
I thought you were going to say he's now face down in the river, but
If there was an option to have slit his throat in that moment, it would have been done. I'm not even joking.
that's that story arc gone. River.
I'm not even
Goodbye.
bothered. Bring in Ranvi. Yeah, he's out the question now. We can get, but to be honest, I don't think you're that much of a looker, loves. You push your luck, and I've said politely no. But every time I talk to you now, it's like a little heart thing. I want to talk about us. No, I'm sleeping with the butcher's sister. Okay, we've covered this an episode ago.
Is he still cutting the hog up on the bench?
That hog. That must be
That,
the that must be the
that must be like
finest.
chicken liver pate by now.
Mate, it must be the finest sliced ham. You must be able to hold it up and look through it. It's that thin. It's like the
Parma
sort.
ham.
Yeah, no, 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 mate. It's better than that. It's like Billy Bear ham, but on the cheap. It's like Aldi penny ham. It's like, what even is this? Probably bull's foreskin or something. God knows, with bloody pork flavouring on it. Anyway, you distract me completely. Anyway, so that's Assassin's Creed. I've been bizarrely, I've had the Switch by my bedside, and I've been kind of waking up and playing through Breath of the Wild. I think I've waited
Really?
long enough. I've waited long enough for the hype to die down.
You kept this quiet, you crafty little dog.
I'm full of secrets. I'm full of surprises.
Oh,
um, God, that will not come across well on the audio show, will it? They'll be like, "Oh God, turn it down, George. What are you doing, pal? We came here for the dulcet tones, jaded George, not this guy."
one super brew dog.
Is that what this is? I thought it was glue.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so I've been quite enjoying that, to be honest. There's one thing you can say about it for the most part is it can be a pretty lonely experience, can't it?
yeah,
And I think that aids to the storytelling.
exactly. Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I don't think it will ever be my favorite Zelda because that notch has already been and firmly put in the bedpost. And I think it's a nostalgia and time of your life and where you were and what you were doing in that
exactly. Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
So Ocarina of Time will kind of always be my special place. I had Link to the Past on SNES, but it's just a game to me. But Ocarina of Time kind of transcended it a bit like Shenmue did or Halo 1 did for me, where it became more to me than it was, even though it's not, if that makes sense. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
you all those listening are like, yeah, that didn't make sense, George, but we kind of get what you mean.
Mm.
It becomes more than the sum of its parts because you invent almost the lore in your mind. You make excuses for the game's poor graphics. You're like, oh no, that's part of the aura that surrounds him. It's not just a rendering field. It's here for a reason.
I do like, yeah, you're right there. I mean, it does have to chug yourself along at times, but I do like the art style that they had chosen for Link
Oh,
and the characters. I mean, I know
Breath of
you.
the Wild, you mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments I was playing it the other day and I stood on one of those tall pillar things. I didn't even know the name. This just shows how much attention I'm playing as I blast through it, really. Skip dialogue, not interested. Uh,
Do all
everyone
your
at that,
towers first, then do
everyone
all
at
your
home's
shrines,
like,
then do all your stamina, then do your hearts. There you go. That's the order I played it
oh, wow,
in.
okay. Someone played it with a guide.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I did play it.
Shame on you. I'm just going through it as organically as possible. You know,
I even had one of the. Do I say this?
yeah, you do. Let's face it now.
Well,
The meat the sausage is out the flies.
I had my gold edition, limited edition guide um, opened up. and I had a because the pages will keep shutting, so I bought one of those cookbook stands you have in the kitchen. So I'd have a little pull-out table next to me with the guide on, with the pages clipped open, so I knew where I was.
Thing is, at that point, are you playing the game or are you just merely a tool for the guide to play the game? Is the guide playing the game at that point and you're just its hands?
Well, no, because I didn't follow the guide step by step. What I done, I done one tower, used the guide for the to find how to do a tower. And then once I'd done that, I thought, right, I'm gonna find all the towers. So I spent 15 hours finding all these towers, unlocking the map, and then I thought, right, shrines. So then I would look to try and find where the shrines were in the guidebook, and then go and do all the shrines. But I didn't use I'd worked the shrines out myself. I didn't use the guidebook to tell me,
Because
and
let me
then
tell
just
you,
kept doing all my
from
stamina
my
work.
point of view, what you've described is somehow the guide subconsciously controlled you to buy a relaxing gamer chair. So you went and got the cookbook stand. I bet you it laid back like this on the chair. Ah, let me just lay here like this. And you kind of you didn't know it, but it was
It
using
it
you.
lay there like Kate Winslet in Titanic.
Mm.
Mm.
Now, mm.
And I just
Take me like one of your gamer guides, RGT.
yeah yeah pretty much. So,
Saucy devil.
but yeah, and I mean I spent what 120 hours in that game and
Well,
did.
before we move past that, we were talking about the graphics and the art style, and one of the
Mhm.
times I was up one of these towers, and the angle of the camera, the in-game camera, was just I'd kind of rolled round, or I'd maybe rolled it round where I could see Link's face, and I just sat there and thought, yeah, actually, do you know what? That looks great.
Mm.
The art style, the lines, it looked like a cartoon, and
Mm.
and for that reason, I did actually doff my cap to it. I thought,
Mm.
yep.
I like some of the lighting as well, like when you do a shrine and that sort of blue light comes out. It looks really good, for the power of the system. Some of the lighting was brilliant in that game.
Oh yeah, and mate, I'm playing this solely in handheld as well. You
So
know,
I played on a big screen. I didn't play in handheld mode at all, but so it'd be interesting to see what it's like
I'm
on
just
handheld.
kind of laid on the couch with my feet up, head on a pillow. It's totally the not right way to play it. And like I say, I'm skipping it, like skip, 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 skip. I don't know why I'm being so obtuse to it. I just want to be in the world and enjoy it. If I'm being
But the
absolutely
thing with
honest.
that game is you can play it like that. You can just go off, and I mean, I was hardly doing any of the story tropes for hours and hours and hours and hours. I'd go off on a tangent for 30 hours just off doing a side mission, which would drag you somewhere else, and then you'd find this hidden bit, and then you'd get some Korok seeds, and then you go back and change it. It was really, really good. You could just get lost in that world, so lost in it. It was brilliant.
Mm. Um, and it has that kind of otherworldly element to it. The ruins, the sort of sniff of a history before, very high technology that obviously went before with your I don't know what they call it now. What's that tablet thing? I've skipped it.
The
The Sheikah
Sheikah Stone,
Slate. You got
Sheikah
it,
Slate,
baby.
that's it.
The
Yeah,
Sheikah Slate. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm on board for all of it. I like the kind of hints at it, and I think that it's played well enough. So I'm excited to get through it. Like I say, I think I've let the hype die down. Heck, it's even had a sequel, and now I'm playing it. So
I mean, I played it on the Wii U.
I own it
Oh,
for the Wii U, and I think I did actually start a playthrough just to be. You've always got to be. I've always finding myself. What's the most obtuse thing I can do? Oh yeah, I'll play Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. Why? I sat there like, why?
well, I
You're
think
literally trapped in this room.
when I,
What's the
when I
point?
when I knew the game had got me was where you go to the first I can never remember what it's called, the first chapel place, the statue, when you first gain your stamina or hearts, whatever you what a trophy were.
Yes, yes, sir.
I used to always come back to that one. So I'd go off, do a load of shrines, collect stuff for hours and hours and hours, then I'd come back to change it for stamina, or once I've filled my stamina up, hearts. And I used to always say to myself, this is where it all began. And I'd felt like I'd gone off on a massive mission because I'd been gone for 20, 30 hours, and you come back and think, oh, that seems ages ago I was here, and then you go off again on your missions again. I just thought that's really encapsulated that almost loneliness, but on you're on a single player mission in this big world. I thought
Yeah.
they really nailed that, the
Yeah,
atmosphere
mate,
and that.
I can totally identify with that. I mean, when I play Assassin's Creed, I could fast travel, but for the majority of the time, I sail there, all the way
Mm,
there, and all the way
yeah.
back. It's only in very recent missions where I've been like, yeah, I'm just going to fast travel. But it
Do you
doesn't stop. It
did
doesn't
you?
stop there, by the way. I've played more.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you play Breath of the Wild with headphones on? Or?
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, I've got like
Because
a
it's got
little.
very, very good audio in that. So, like
It
for
has.
instance, if you drop water in and the water sound effects are like almost like 3D sound, it's really good, really
I'm
clever how
playing
they've
it
done it.
with some time ago. I got hold of some. I can't remember where it was, Curry's, and I was looking for some Bluetooth headphones to my Vita, and I saw these kind of such a nerd. Saw these Sony ones. Well, I've got a Sony Vita. I got Sony headphones. Yeah, that's a sort of chill you are, you little dog. Not anymore.
I would do the same as well.
But it was either that or some unknown brand to me. I always see these JBL ones, and I'm like, I don't even recognize you as a brand.
Oof.
Uh, eat it. Eat it. Come at me. Anyway, I recognise Sony as a brand that's been making audio equipment for a long time, and I appreciate what they're doing. And it is normally easy. I've got some JBL stuff, don't get me wrong. I think I've got a little Bluetooth speaker by them, and it's good quality, don't get me wrong. But I wanted Sony, let's face it. And this WCH 510s, I think they are. Like I think they're a 20 quid pair of headphones, but they
Mm,
are great. They're over. They're not over ear. They're on ear.
mm.
But they've got these nice little leather cups, and the sound quality for the price is really good. So I can heartily recommend them to anyone. I think they're on Amazon. I'm not getting paid for this, by the way. It's just to
I
chuck it
normally
out
just
there.
use my Pulse. Put the dongle in and you switch dock, and away you go.
Ah, yeah, there is that option.
Mm,
I normally, if I'm going to use the Pulse, I haven't got time to muck around with the moving the dongle. I'm that
yeah,
lazy.
fair enough. Yeah,
I just
yeah,
stick the wire in it.
yeah. You can either or, can't you? Either or.
But, sir, please, sir, do you want some more?
Ooh, yeah.
You dirty devil. So there's been some farming simulator updates. Got through to December, and the price of canola peaked. So I hired a truck and trailer. I'm not buying anymore. I'm being savvy, and I took it down at the highest market peak. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the listener's halved.
Listen,
Your excitement.
after 261 episodes, if that works it out yet, shame on you.
That's just your little face going, yeah, well, I'm in December and you know, price is
Oh,
doubled.
mate,
So,
I was pumped. Yeah, and obviously now back in the day, seasons was something that PC users had and console owners always dreamed of, and now it's like baked into the game,
mm,
and it does add things. It's not perpetually summer, which is obviously a little bit unrealistic.
oh,
Hmm.
just cough.
Oh, I thought you were shouting someone saying he's playing that game again, Mumsy.
No, no, I was just trying to cough in, but then I forgot we're on video as well. So,
We're video now,
mm,
which means I have to get washed, dressed, and changed every time we want to film.
there's no one bath a month now for you.
No, I miss the dirty days of audio only. I really do. We were
Gone from
never
Dirty
made.
George to Jaded George.
Dirty, jaded George. We never were made. We were never made for video. I mean, we've got
Definitely
faces.
not.
We've got faces not even a mother could love.
Definitely not. Mine never did.
No, explains a lot. Um, yeah, I love you.
Oh, that's a step up from hating me. So,
I don't know why I said that. I felt this strange urge for compassion, and now I completely regret it.
yeah, you hate me again.
As a friend of mine once said, "What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Are you looking for me to care? Well, I tell you what, it's between shit and syphilis in the dictionary." Oh, right, sympathy. Yeah, nice. Thanks, mate. Yeah, cheers for that.
That's your swords.
uh,
Anyway,
I think I've committed quite some sins on the way into episode 261. Some forgivable, some not. I mean, there's like 16 UCP Hail Marys. PG era OG Tom literally just turned in his grave. He's like, what the hell is happening? He sat up like the Undertaker. Like, oh.
Juicer Phil's going to do it for nothing just to get the bleeps in.
Producer Phil, 6 foot under. If anyone wants to go sniff out that little bit of lore, oh my God,
That's going back.
I forgot about him.
I ain't.
Wow. Things you say under pressure in front of a microphone. Um, where were we? Farming simulator, right? Um, yeah, the season's had something to it, definitely, and I'm doing all the things I can do to get maximum yield, but it does leave you kind of a little bit kind of skipping days now because I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do. I've planted all my fields. Like, I'm not just going to drive around the yard doing busy work because, like, why would you?
Yeah, it's a bit like that winter in Stardew. Is you can't really plant anything, so you're sort of wandering around looking for something to do for a for a day.
Literally, mate. And
Yeah,
I'm walking around like, why am I doing this? It's like, better go back to bed. When do you want to wake up? 0800 the next morning. Turn around, click on the sleep button. What do you want to do? 0800 the next morning, please. Turn around. What do you want to do? I want to sleep. Um, and then I had a moment where I checked the crops, and then I thought, why am I doing this? I should have done it on the map. It said I walked to the field. Uh, no explanation, really, RGT.
pass some time, I suppose.
But
Pass some
guess
time.
what? Guess what? Guess
What?
what? Guess
What?
what? Guess what? There's more.
What? Farming Simulator?
No, another game.
Thank God. Right, crack on.
Indiana Jones
Mm.
on the PS Premium section. Been playing it on the portal.
Is that
Uh,
the PS2 game?
well, it's spiked in value, obviously, because I've got the rubbish one.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it started up, I was like, oh, I don't, bloody hell. I don't, bloody hell. I,
Yeah,
I,
I've
I don't
I've
remember it.
dabbled.
I don't remember it looking this good. And then it started, and I was like, yeah, this isn't the abomination I own.
Yeah.
This looks great.
No,
Um,
I did dabble with that.
I thought you'd be all over it because it's very Uncharted.
Yeah, I did. A few weeks ago, I just played sort of the first half an hour. I had a little dabble on it, and
Where did you get to?
um, you do the first bit. You sort of go through that cave area, don't you? And then you come down. Do you fight some Germans, if I remember rightly? I can't quite remember.
I don't think you really fight them. You kind of plays a cutscene where you dodge them and you leg it, and then you end
Yeah,
up somewhere else, don't you?
yeah,
Oriental feeling, I think, from
yeah,
memory.
yeah. I think I got just as far as that part, but
I've got a little further, and I'm kind of looking forward to going back to it. If I'm honest with you, it's enjoyable. It's definitely a game of its time. I did a little
without
bit of
doubt.
research, and it because there were some bits where I was hammering the buttons, and I was thinking, man, alive, this. I don't remember PS2 games employing such weird kind of mechanisms. Transpires it was on the Wii.
Yeah,
That's why you got
yeah,
to waggle because you'd have
yeah,
been running.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. It looks good. They've got a good indie voiceover. Generally, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a nice little bit of soft fun to go back to.
yeah, yeah.
Rachel's lost. I've been coming up to bed. I'll be up in a minute, babe. I'm
Oh, not Sims.
just gonna finish my Sims. And I'm like, okay, boom, wake up the next morning, like, oh, there she is. But like, what time did she crawl into bed? There was a moment of mourning as well because her original Sim passed. Um, and she said, I'd been watching over the top of the Switch or whatever. And she says, oh, what do you think I should put on a gravestone? And I said, oh, my love for you faded as your arse grew because literally she designed this character and this sim just ended up with a derriere so large it almost needed to be carried around in a separate trolley. I don't know what's going on with I don't know what's going on with that game. It was obscene. Um, she's got all that lower weight junk going on. No wonder she bloody passed on. But yeah, I find that to be a very unusual game.
Mm.
Very unusual. Kind of like it's got this voyeuristic element to it. It's almost got like a sadistic element to it. It's a very odd concept, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I got into playing them on the PS2 originally, and I think I played the first couple, but sort of novelty wore off for me, really.
What, like
But
Sims and Pets or whatever it was?
no, I played The Sims, and then there was Sims 2, I believe. I think, but I put a lot more hours in the original. Sims Get was new. I'd never played anything like that. Me and my
Yeah.
friend played it, and it was quite good fun. And I think I started Sims 2 and just thought, well, this is much the same again. Do I really want to sink all these hours into this? And then sort of faded away from it. But there is that side to it
Oh,
where
it's more the same. I can't believe it. Oh, do you want to play a bit of FIFA, Brian? Yeah, let's do it. What one? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22?
point taken, point taken. Um, but there's always that side to it where if you look back now and people still do it, there's always that sinister sort of godlike side to it where people play it and think, I could brick these in a room and set fire to them. I could put these in a swimming pool and tap the ladder out. See how long they last to swim. There's
Oh,
almost that. There's that sinister side to it where people get that god complex in it and
I tell you what, I've never seen a lady descend into panic so quickly as she did. She's dying. She's dying. She's dying.
clear.
George, she's dying. It's like, yeah, let it happen. There's nothing you can do. Just let it happen.
Yeah,
Um,
it's for the best.
it really is, Duck. Yeah, it is. Let her go. Let's just let her slip away. Um, just let her fade. Just let her fade away.
That's it. Close your eyes. That's it. Close your eyes.
It's
Shh.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Where you go.
Oh my God. To think that because of this lasts forever on YouTube, and obviously we pay the podcast hosts to make these shows last forever, that could be something that someone hears for the last time.
Hmm.
Me and you
Tragic.
shushing them off.
Yeah, tragic.
If you're still just gripping on to the fabric of reality, I'm sorry.
And that's the last thing they hear.
Well, with all that said and done, friend, I think we've committed enough sins in there to last a lifetime. But hopefully, you've enjoyed our gaming catch up for the past week. And don't forget, if you want to share a little bit more news about what you've been playing, you can message us on questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. Or you could email us there. Yeah, get professional, George. I'm trying. I'm trying. Or you can message us on Instagram or Twitter, aka X. In fact, let's have a push towards that. And we've also been beavering away behind the scenes, not just on a website, which is coming soon. Longest website revealing history. But guess what? For all the cool kids who are too cool for Discord, too cool for Instagram, too cool for the internet, too cool for all that other rigmarole, we got a Reddit page. I don't quite know how you
Mm-mm-mm.
get to it. I think it's UCP, but you'll find it if you search hard enough. And if you're clever enough to find it, you can literally be the coolest kid on the street. One man found it, Bada Binkster. He organically found it, and he's made his way there. So basically, it's just me and him talking at the moment.
I hadn't
If
even
anyone
found it, not the
else,
host.
that's because I've been keeping it secret while I've been trying to build it together, trying to get my karma up so it actually let me host a page. I didn't understand it, but I felt like I needed to spread myself out there a little bit before I dived in. But I'm there, and it's there, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. So if you're too cool for all the other places, there's Reddit. We're on YouTube. Feel free. Seen some great comment today from MK Carl. I think his username was where my face when you mentioned sociable soccer, and I managed to screenshot it at the perfect moment, and I sent it to you, and I just looked dead. I just looked absolutely dead.
No interest whatsoever. It was just that complete disappointment in me. Like,
To all
why are you
those that are the
doing this to
audio
me?
listeners, the OG audio listeners, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing. But to those new kids who are looking at the YouTube, there's a little bit of visual entertainment for you as well, no doubt. Also, did George really, the audio listeners, does George really have a picture of Mike Brewer on his wall? Yeah, yeah, he does.
Yeah, he certainly does. Yeah,
Does he
and
really
just
have a gold record from his boy band era?
yep.
Yeah, he does. Why isn't he more famous? God knows. I was the
Yep.
fat guy with the farmer shirt in the background that just danced, basically. I wasn't allowed to
Shotty
sing.
too hotty.
Look, it was the early aughts. You got to make
Yeah,
a living, ain't you?
exactly. You know.
Certainly wanted to make it through my voice. I think everyone who's heard the RGT theme tune
Yeah, you
knows.
lost that. There's no auto tune on here, son.
Good enough for a gold record.
Exactly. You know.
I'm not telling you what country it's in, okay? But North Korea give them out. We scoured. And I've got down on my hands and knees this week and I've scoured the very darkest regions of the internet. Much like blood on a crime scene. It's not the first time, it won't be the last. Scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, that's bonus news. I don't know why I'm doing that because we ain't got any of that this week. PlayStation employs. Hang on a minute. I keep slipping back into old George. I'm having too much fun. I'm jaded, George.
Mm.
We've got a whole fan base. The one man fan club
Well, more
came
you got more for Jaded George than you have for the original George. Yeah, it's only one, but
260, 250 episodes of being Happy George, 10 episodes of being Jaded George.
bang,
Uh,
fan club.
Bang, fan club.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm going to calm it down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
So,
Here's the first bit of news. Yeah, it's our friends over at Push Square. They've crept out the woodwork with this bad boy. It's a story by the infamous Liam Croft over on there. It's PlayStation employs Bulletstorm dev to make new PS5 game based on Sony IP. Oh, yeah. People Can Fly, the team behind shooters like Bulletstorm and Outriders, has announced it's entered into agreement with PlayStation to produce a new game based on a current pre-existing Sony IP. No other details have been confirmed other than its codename, Project Delta. The technical speak confirms People Can Fly has entered production of a prototype of a new video game codenamed Project Delta, the product, based on intellectual property rights belonging to the publisher. Currently, the studio is also collaborating with Microsoft on the development of Gears of War E-Day. It's a flashback to your Pleasure Dome days, RGT. Details pertaining to what the Sony IP the developer is working on haven't been shared, though given its background, the chances it's some kind of shooter are fairly high. This could bring the possibility of a new Killzone game, the return of Resistance, or my personal opinion, based on the Delta code name, although that might be thrown us off, a SOCOM title.
mm.
Or maybe another MAG, aka Massive Action Game, that if you remember flopped because they launched it the day Sony got hacked and then didn't come back online for a record amount of time. And during that time, MAG literally died. It didn't even get the
Mm.
chance to do a Concorde. It literally had its throat cut by its own parents' hacking scenario. What we do know is the project's based on a current Sony IP. So make of that what you will. We'll get into this in the rub in a moment, but People Can Fly is a Polish developer that was founded in 2002 and is best known for Bulletstorm. It also made Outriders, Gears of War Judgment, and contributed to a number of other projects like the Save the World portion of Fortnite. RGT, what's your gut feeling telling you about that, friend?
That's interesting. I mean, they've had their fingers in quite a few pies there, haven't they? To be fair, I mean, they've dabbled. They have dabbled.
Uh, yeah. I mean, the clean answer is like a leper on a cookery course, but I'm sure you're looking for something a little bit more sexual
No,
innuendo from me.
not at all. No, I was just using the business term. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
Okay.
you're taking that down an octave. But anyway, no, I think that's quite interesting. I mean, there's people have been, you know, especially Resistance fans have been asking for a new Resistance game for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
I, I mean, we're in a dialogue here. I can't see it being that, and I can't
mm,
see it being Killzone.
mm,
Maybe it will be. I just kind of feel like if it's a Resistance, that'll be interesting to me because that's been rested for the longer time. Killzone, we got a PS4
mm.
game.
Shadow Fall, wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
was it Shadow Fall?
something along those lines. Um, and that was great in itself, although I didn't really click with it. I quite like the original Resistance, and I think it's a good franchise. But I just feel like Sony probably they used to be the king of the realistic shooter. In fact, it was actually I had more what you've been playing. I forgot.
Mm,
I did deny.
mm,
I did. It's because we talked about it off air. I totally forgot about it. We'll come back to that maybe.
mm,
Uh, we we try and remind me, and we'll come back to that. But over the weekend as well, I had a little PS2 session. I was playing some SOCOM, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, although I've never played this online now or back in the day, it's pretty competent in
mm,
terms of your realistic. Well, no, I take that back. It's not realistic. It's actually been in Afghanistan itself. It's a
mm,
pseudo want to be realistic game that was
mm,
really around sort of squad formations and doing things as a team.
mm.
I feel like there's a really good moment where that could come back. I think out of all the titles, if you're going to make it an online shooter, if that's what they're doing, SOCOM is ripe for that moment, almost like a Helldivers moment, where you're in a helo, much like the original SOCOM, and you get your briefing and you drop down, and it's kind of almost procedurally generated levels. Go in, get this, get out, do that, hold off this point, do that point, defend. It feels very Helldivery. And I think if you slap the SOCOM name on that, helo comes down, dusts off, you jump out. I don't think you need to jump out in the air. You don't need that Fortnite Warzone moment. I think it could land. You could
Mm.
have all the grit in your face as you climb out. I think there's a lot to be said for that. And then you're working as a team towards objectives like you do in Helldivers. I think there's a space for that.
I think you might be right there. I mean, maybe, I mean, Sony were caught a bit on the hop with Helldivers. I don't think they expected it to be half as successful as it was. And
Absolutely not.
maybe they're now thinking, hold on, we've hit on something here. Maybe that's, rather than go down that first person sort of competitional shooter route, let's do what we did with Helldivers and that sort of third person sci-fi sort of, I mean, obviously SOCOM won't, but it seemed to really hit off and people seem to love the way it worked.
It's the
Could be a good
collaboration
show.
effort. It's the working together rather than against that I think that made Helldivers special. For me, I'd not been online for years, but it was always, even when you were working as a team on COD, there was always that griefing element, right? Either by the people you were facing or people on your own team who didn't think you were good enough to be on their team, sort of thing. Whereas
Mm,
Helldivers, there was an element of people not thinking you were good enough, but for the most part, from what I saw, people were willing to work with you
mm.
to have a great experience. And the friendliness and kindness of some of the games that I had really kind of made me think maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe online's changed. It's an interesting one. Just to play devil's advocate, RGT, what do you think they could do with like a new Killzone game? How would you like to see that sort of shown out?
So how many did they do in the end of those? Four? Three, four?
I think there's a trilogy, isn't there? One, two, and three on. One's on PS2. If you're lucky enough to get the box on PS3, you get one, two, and three on there. I think there was a much like Resistance. I think Killzone got a PSP spin-off title. I think it was that isometric one as well.
Yeah,
Um,
Liberation, was it? Liberation or
Something
something?
along in
Yeah.
my eyes, that's I know it looks really crude, but in some ways it's actually probably the better. That's strong. I take that back. It's certainly got the ability to stand on its own 2 feet.
Mm,
But obviously they're not going to do that. But you know, Killzone, Killzone could be good,
mm,
but Resistance I have a soft spot for because I always thought the first game was really, really well done. It looks
mm.
old now, though, by the way.
Really.
I mean, I played it during probably COVID, and I think I thought I loved every moment of it. But even then, I was thinking, oof, this looks a bit rough at times. Looks a bit PS2.
Ooh. Yeah, well, I mean, especially the first one was quite early, wasn't it? Well, it was release title, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
impressive for its moment, but very quickly the hardware and the industry kind of put a rocket up that generation's backside, and things got very good looking very quick.
Mm. Yeah. And that was a very brown early game, wasn't it? I think so.
And that was my first takeaway was it was almost in black and white, which kind of suit it wasn't, but it kind of had like that black and white sepia feel to it because it was
Mm.
obviously set in an alternate Second World War type timeline.
Hmm.
which was always quite interesting. Um, yeah, is there any more you want to do on that, or do you want to hit me up
No,
with
I
your
think
piece of
I think
news?
it's interesting, and like I say, I think you've probably hit the nail on the head with maybe going down that online
Just
third
Project
person
Delta
shooter.
sounds like something Bo Below would
Hmm.
use as a code name for. I mean, make up your own sort of solution for that. But yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
drop it in the Discord. Um, yeah. No, I think you're hitting nail on the head there. I think there could be a SOCOM, could be an online, you know, team-based shooter. I think that could be rather good, really.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll
You
move on then.
scoured the very darkest reach of the internet. What have you found?
This is over on Pure Xbox. The title being Random Oreo Xbox Series S owner shows off their monstrosity of a console. I have a crazy thing, he says. And this is brought to us by Fraser Gilbert. Right, get ready for this. And no, it
Oh,
isn't.
I'm ready.
This isn't April Fool's. Um, A couple of years ago, Xbox partnered with Oreo to release a very special Oreo Xbox Series S as part of a sweepstake on social media, and it's believed that only three of them exist in the world, so they're very rare to come across. However, this week, a social media post has gone viral from someone who apparently owns the Oreo Xbox Series S and is keen to find out how much it could be sold for. They've received over 1,400 likes and almost 600 comments in the last 24 hours alone, with many suggesting they should keep it to grow in value as long as possible. Here's what they had to say in their post to an Xbox Series XS fan group. I have this crazy thing, Microsoft Series S Oreo edition that is very rare, as I learned. How much do you think it's worth on the second-hand market? Mine being one at a competition and is brand new, never used since then. Thank you. And here's a look at it. So obviously we're an audio show, you can't, but if you go over to Pure Xbox and look up this story, it's courtesy of someone who shared the image over on Reddit. And it is a massive Oreo being dipped in some massive cream with
It's
a
just like it's a case, isn't it, basically, for a Series
there's
S?
a Series S tucked in the middle there as part of the cream filling, I would imagine. But
Yeah.
um, I suppose the good thing about using the S's, you ain't got to use the disk drive if you so you could you ain't got to find a little slot. So
My concern is heat management, but what do I know?
yeah, I mean it's a big Oreo, I'll give them that. And even
It's-
even the controller's got the splashy cream up the sides of it. So
Mm.
if you haven't steady fella. If you haven't noticed, the Xbox Series S is actually sandwiched in the middle of the giant Oreo here, and we're assuming it does actually work. Unlike many of the other custom Xbox consoles, will you behave yourself, George? Over the years have been just been for display. As big Xbox fans, we'd really be looking to keep this. But if the deal ends up being too good to be true, we can certainly understand why you'd part with it. Sure, it might be a monstrosity in some people's eyes, but the unique design and rare availability of the Oreo Xbox Series S makes it a very cool collector's item for anyone who comes across one. What do you think?
Well,
I
first of all, I want to, before we discuss our own opinions, I'd welcome anybody on any of the social medias that follows us or in any way intrigued by us or is listening right now. If you've got a custom console, I want to see it. I want to see it. What you've done? Is it something you've won? Is it a skin? Have you clagged on one of those Normandy armor sets? You crazy guy. Have you? Have you? Wow. I want to see every single variation of your custom consoles that you've got. I keep mine stock, even down to the faceplates, baby. I've never put a skin on. I've been tempted, even the Nokia faceplate eras, I've been tempted to skin a console. Not like, like a rat or anything like that. I mean, put a decal on it or whatever.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not going full Arthur Morgan at it, like, yeah, this will fetch a pretty penny. None of that. Although I have also took consoles apart and not been able to put them back together. Don't you
Don't go down that route. I've done that with controllers. Got a bag of bits somewhere.
I remember when I was a young lad, I took apart I had an Atari ST, and everyone had Mega Drives, and I was so bummed out. So I took apart my classic Atari one button sort of hand hold it in the palm of your hand joystick, and then my mum came in. She was like, "Oh." what are you doing? Oh, I'm making a joypad.
Making a joypad.
She probably just looked aghast as she saw like 4 hours worth of work of her slogging her guts out just evaporate out the window as her little stupid son took apart his prized possession and probably ended up crying because it looked like a circuit board with sellotape on it. Because it was. And
Brilliant.
now I like as a grown man who has kids and sees him doing stupid stuff and I see my wages just evaporate out the window. I'm like, oh, stay calm. Stay calm.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I say,
Stay calm.
I've tried to reskin in a controller before and then thought, yeah, I don't know where this pile of screws go. Or you put it back together, it's very loose, and you've still got a pile of screws sitting next to you. I weren't made for this sort of work,
I
I'm
get
afraid.
listen, I've reskinned a PSP, and if you haven't
You did
got
actually, and that is a tough job to do.
a pile of screws at the end of it, I say to you, sir, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, pile of
So I,
screws.
I literally was full OCD with this. I was going to say anal, but that's not the right. Well, it kind of is. All the screws out, laid them all out, reversed everything, and still had screws left. I was like, "What's happening to me? I'm a trained weapons engineer, but I don't know how to. I can't even put a joypad back together. Oh, God. Back to this though. Obviously, all seriousness aside, we would love to see pictures of your custom controllers. I think
Mm.
Digital Munker is a dab hand. He sent me a GoldenEye controller that he'd made himself, a N64 one. Lovely little paint job. I know over the years he's made his custom consoles, but we want to see everybody else's. What you got, what you're playing with. Any embarrassing, I tried to mod or fix my own equipment and ended up with some broken screws, or maybe mum walked in on you in an embarrassing moment and it wasn't you trying to make a joypad out of an Atari. I want to hear all of it, you know. We're that kind of characters now. Just warts and all. Not those warts. Well,
No,
maybe.
well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
put them in the DMs. Um,
Yeah. Put an emoji over it.
yeah, but no, I think these sort of rare. I mean, Microsoft does this quite a lot, don't they? And you know, when they see the funny side, especially with the Series X, and people said it had got a fridge, so they made the actual Series X fridge that you
Yeah.
could buy. You know,
And a toaster.
and a yeah, and a toaster, which prints the Xbox sort of into your toaster. And I did see quite a few UK-based YouTubers buy them from America, and then wondered why they nearly set the kitchen alight with them because they were putting them through the standard power supply, which is
Oh,
quite
wow.
amusing. But I do. I saw that quite a lot. Yeah. But personally, I mean, I quite like these unusual consoles. Not you say that is a bit of a rarity. It's quite nice to have, and if you're a collector like us, we are. That's quite a smart little rare piece to have in there. I know you've got a massive Oreo on your shelf, but then again, if someone come in with silly money, would you sort of go, "Mm,
Oh, listen, if I posted that up and some sheik came in and said, I'll give you $1 million for it, I'd be like, listen, pal, take it.
yeah, I'll fly it over tomorrow."
Yeah, literally, we'll quit work and fly this over tomorrow. Chance would be a fine thing, but let's face it, it isn't happening.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I like the fun side of Xbox and Microsoft. It's always nice to see. I think I tell you what, I'm not so enamored with those. Hate me if you like, right? I don't really care at this point, but these console jackets that Microsoft came out with, where you kind of wrap a parka coat around your
You sort
Xbox.
of zip it up, sort of thing. Yeah, it's sort of weird, isn't it? It's sort of,
They look all right, but there's absolutely no way I could put one on my Series X in good conscience and not think it was literally cooking itself. I know it's genuine, I know it's officially designed, and everyone's going to get in there and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, but there's just something fundamentally wrong about that. A tight fitting
mm,
decal I can get on board with, but that thick jacket that you wrap around, oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I suppose, with especially with the Series X, it's like a top-based exhaust, isn't it? I know people think in the modern consoles the fans cool things. They don't. They suck the hot air out. They're more of an exhaust rather than a coolant. So I suppose
Mm,
all that hot air is going out the top anyway. But I'm with you on that. There's something feels really wrong about actually putting a winter Parker coat on it.
yeah,
I know what you mean.
agreed.
Obviously, they've tested it and it's fine and they work. And it's quite an, I suppose it is quite a nice idea that you can buy these different sort of I don't know what you'd call them. Well, they a skin
I
are they
think I want
or
to take this moment actually to pour a little bit of shade on Sony because they're still in the era now where they could literally offer up the faceplates for their consoles, even the limited edition ones they could put out there. And I find that they're not really that readily available. I want to walk into Argos and pick up a Spider-Man skin, a Spider-Man set of faceplates. I want to pick up
definitely.
some Last of Us plate faceplates, but no, 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 no. Got to get the old console for that, mate.
Yeah, I think it was like mine. I've got the can't remember. I'm looking at mine now. I think is it
Crimson Red.
yeah, crimson red. I've got on mine, and then I sort of done the LEDs inside, and I've done the light up LED PlayStation symbol as well. Bit of a
I tell you
moment
what,
of madness, but
you can make the lad put the max power down, but you can't make the max power put the lad down.
if I could put twin tail pipes, if
Last
I
page of max
yeah,
power, by the way, is the only reason I bought it.
ooh, yeah. If I could put twin cherry bombs on that, I would. But no, if I so when that fire when you turn on your PlayStation, you go bum bum bum
LED flashing gear knob.
yeah. Oh, without doubt. I mean, it's already got under neons on it, so
And I always used to giggle when I got in my mates' cars and they'd literally ran the amp cables just across the carpet. It's not even that hard to put it under. Like,
yeah.
it's not even that hard to run it down the side sill. What are you doing? Careful when you get in, boys. Careful when you get in. Got the amp cable down there.
Yeah,
Oh, right. So we've all got to literally hover.
yeah. Don't spill your KFC cola because that will short out. Will short out.
So about.
But we'll be fine because we've got rubber tires. It's a Faraday cage, so don't worry. But just
Oh,
don't.
did we talk about this on air or not? Those little strips that come down the back of your car.
I don't think we did, but we've sort of spun into it on a tangent. But
Yeah, we're here now, aren't we?
yeah,
Before kind of the proper car modding
we're
scene
showing
in
our
the
age a bit, aren't we?
my dad told me about this. Before the proper car modding scene in the 90s,
Yeah, whatever, whatever.
there were literally the only mods you could get for your car were comedy ones, weren't they? Like fingers that were door guards, looked like you'd trap your hands in the door. And then there was this rage of these anti-static, well, anti-car sickness,
Anti-car sickness, yeah.
like rubber strips you would sort of bolt to your chassis and they would come down and make contact with the ground and earth the vehicle so you didn't get car sick. I mean,
Oh, my dad was
how
desperate to get them.
how that affected your inner ear and your brain's perception to work out levels is beyond me. But you know, earth and the static, that'll do it, cowboy. That'll do it.
I can remember Dad come back from the workman's club and saying, "Yeah, no, I've got to get these strips. Barry's got them on his Cortina. Kids don't get sick anymore. Honestly, they're a new thing. They're unbelievable. I need a pair to put on the Fiat Uno. Need a pair for the Fiat Uno
Think-
because Barry had them on his red Cortina with his
I
Dukes of
mean,
Hazzard wheels.
what you know, your dad was just wanting to fit in, and he
Yeah.
had to
Oh God.
justify something to
Yeah,
Mrs.
but I'll tell you
RGT.
what. Two of these strips hanging off the back of a beige three-door D-Reg Fiat Uno didn't help. It didn't help. It was beige.
Just looks like a couple of overgrown canines scraping off the floor.
Yeah, so oh, you got to be careful there. You've got a couple of cable ties hanging off the back. Careful you don't catch him.
Some of them had like little white motifs of a little earthing diamond,
Or red reflectors. Others had red
oh, little
reflectors.
red dog
Yeah,
stick red reflectors on the ball.
yeah. He would drive along at night and he'd go, "Oh, go
Oh,
look at that Renault 5 in front. He's got them, look. But his kids aren't sick."
I tell you what, the Gen Zers, they're just like, listen to these boomers, but you know, such is life.
Yeah.
Let's draw a line under what started
Yes.
off as show me your modded console and it became
Started off as an Oreo and
sh-
ended up as
show me your dad's gash mods. Uh, and if you want to show us them on Discord, we're all ears. If you want to start up a Reddit thread on the UCP Reddit page, feel free to throw that on there as well. It's literally it's a free for all on the Reddit, literally. So go knock yourself out. Um, Nintendo Life has a story, and it's a point that I think I
mm.
might have raised, or maybe not, because I don't think I was on the Switch 2 episode. But when I was listening to it, when I was doing the editing and driving around, listening to the episode I wasn't on, because I'm a good egg, not like you. Yes, I listen to the ones that even I'm not on. Um,
Why bother? I don't.
yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, when the Switch 2 launched, us being the cutting edge news show that we are, we covered it quite quickly afterwards, and hopefully we brought you some great news and some great opinions on that by you and Scotty, by the way. And if you're out there, Scotty, we're thinking of you and looking forward to welcoming you back on your
Hmm.
return. But Nintendo Life, yes, we've done the Holy Trinity: Push Square, Pure Xbox, and Nintendo Life. Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Switch 2 predicted to cost $400 or more. It could also be the biggest console launch ever, says Liam Doolan, who's Nintendo Life's Pope, Canon, and Bishop, as far as I'm concerned. Big fan of the show. Switch 2 is on the horizon. Analysis.
Do
I
you think
see
so?
I see ANA and an ANAL on a letter and I suddenly start panicking and need to clear my search history. But in this moment, I'm safe. Its analysts are predicting to be the biggest console launch ever in the history, as well as the priciest Nintendo machine to date. Bloomberg has spoken to multiple analysts who regularly communicate with the company and its software and hardware partners, and it's believed it could come with a price tag of $400 or more. Don't say JD George didn't tell you so. The US tariff might also complicate the picture and pressure Nintendo's margins. The Tokyo based industry watcher Serkan Toto expects this. Don't let the rains down in Africa. Expects the system to sell boatloads in its opening month, regardless of the price, noting how an exciting lineup of games can be expected across the current and next generation Nintendo systems this year. Here's a quote. Why are you gay? We can expect a great software lineup in year one from Nintendo Mario Kart and 3D Mario. That's a reference to a meme, by the way. I've not got an issue with any of it. Mario, after 8 years, to Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4. There will also be third-party support from day one, most probably including blockbusters like Call of Duty.
Mm.
Mercury Capital analyst Hiroshi Yamashina has also chimed in. My God, this is like something I've written, suggesting. Told you he was a fan of the
Chimed in.
show. Told you he was a fan of the
Yeah,
show.
use a bit of chime.
Yeah. Suggesting the Switch will be priced between $399 and $499. And Toyo Securities analyst Hideka Yasuda estimates it could go as high as $499. Nintendo is believed to have a first day inventory of around 6 to 8 million. Oh, crikey, boys, I tell you what. you, you better hope it's good.
Mm,
That's one hell of a pile of boxes. I suppose you could
that
give them
is.
to the homeless for living. Could establish new hardware as the biggest console launch ever. Nintendo is expected to share more details about the price and release it at the Switch 2 during its April broadcast. The latest predictions follow a similar story in February, suggesting the Switch 2 would be about $400. RGT, what's your take on this? Because I'm starting to think that for the Switch 2, the kind of tech that's being muted, the kind of undiscountable price that Nintendo probably need it to be to compete with the big boys, it's got to be 450 plus. Now I'm talking dollars, pounds, and euros. You know how these things normally average out, but
Mm.
I can't see any other way that could be less.
Um, yeah, I think I said on the Switch 2 show about I thought that'd be about 449, something like that. I 500. I think that's. But then again, they'll sell them.
Inflation, time's
They'll
moved
sell
on.
them. Yeah, and they'll sell
Yeah.
them. They will sell them. I'm thinking more of a personal side of it. Please be 450.
Oh, listen,
But
but yeah, listen. What's 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 50 quid really between you and a massive Japanese software conglomerate, software and hardware conglomerate? I mean, really,
yeah, exactly. But then
you
again,
can afford it.
yeah. But then if
They
you get
can't.
8 million 50 quids, and that's going to be a big difference. So yeah,
Huge.
um, yeah, and I think we know limited things about. We know
I,
leaks
I,
that we've seen. I think for what tech we're assuming it's being, I think 450s roundabout. I mean, what the original Switch launch at?
was it three? It was either 299 or 399. Tell you what, let's get the facts here.
I think it was some. Yeah, I think it's for some reason I keep thinking like 379 or something. I think it was something along them lines. So you know for the step up in
Launched in the
hardware,
UK at 309.
309.
Mm.
Mm. So I know you got inflation, but
279, 299, actually. Never ask Google anything. You've got to actually then go searching for the right answer. It launched in the UK at 279.
wow. So it's a big difference between the one and the two. I know you've got inflation there over the 7, 8 years, whatever, but um, yeah. So like you say,
Well,
for
the tech's a little bit more up to date, isn't it? And,
yeah,
they're probably thinking they're going to have to stretch this one out equally as long as the first Switch. So they've probably had to up spec it a bit because they know
mm,
they're in for the long haul. I don't really know quite what they're thinking because they can get away with blue murder. And one thing I would say is when the Switch launched, let's not forget, it was off the back of the Wii U.
yeah,
And no one really expected anything. Obviously, they did the trailer and picked up some hype. People were on board with it pretty quickly. Um, and then from there, the games, everything took off. I mean, a lot of it was rehash Wii U titles, so they're going to have to pull a flanker this time in terms of the games. They're going to have to literally go to the locker and come up with something pretty new and cool. Um, that's a bit harsh, I know it is, but for the majority of it's true. RGT,
mm,
if I may say so.
mm.
So hopefully during this time they have been incubating some newer and fresher ideas that are literally going to rock the Switch 2 as it comes out the gates. There's also, a really vast installed user base, and there's some very vocal Switch owners, normally men
Mm.
on YouTube. Normally got a weak beard, probably a soya milk sort of scenario, but RGT, you shake your head and say, "Oh, how dare you?" But you're only saying it because it's true.
I didn't shake my head. I just closed my eyes and just thought, "Where's this going?"
JD George just says it how it is. Um,
I've gathered.
there's one thing about the Switch 2, about the Switch though is, and this is one thing I will say about it, is it's actually brought in a lot more gamers. Exclusively, historically, gaming is seen as a man's area, right?
Mm,
But I see the Switch as being a feeder drug
mm.
for quite a lot of females to actually feel safe and welcome
Yep.
and comfortable to come into the gaming environment. It's not offensive, it's not big, it's not, and by that I mean it's diminutive to hold.
Mm,
It's not, in your face or overly macho. It's got a almost kind of like friendly aesthetic to it, especially the light.
mm.
And I think that element is what's actually really broadened off the user within
Yeah.
this. At the other end, obviously, we've got those aforementioned gentlemen that are, they're running 6 hour long podcasts about, I don't know, the lore of Pokemon. And then you come all the way to the other end and you've got, the cool girls playing Dreamlight Valley, etc., things like
Mm.
that, Animal Crossing. And they've really done a good job of becoming a more socially acceptable gaming environment
It's
that
definitely more of a platform for everyone. You know, Kid,
exactly.
kids enjoy the kids games on it. Oh, you know, loads of kids all have switches, but then there's quite a few um, female YouTubers I follow who are Switch content, do all cozy games and things like
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of that. Then you've got the other side with like your Nintendo Life and Switch Up and that side of games. So there, it really
Marathon gaming.
marathon gaming. Obviously, he's this number one Switch guy,
He is the number one Switch guy.
but it covers. They've done a great job. There's a lot of content on that system. There's a lot of games on there, and it does cover a very wide range. So it is something for everyone. It is really got. I was speaking to you today. I mean, Mrs. RGT was a very, very casual gamer, sort of on her phone, bit of iPad. Occasionally played a bit of Jack and Daxter and didn't really play a lot, but
Hmm.
Switch Lite and Stardew Valley, and there we go. That's a new hobby for her. And
I
uh,
know this sounds a bit odd, but it's the least threatening
hmm and it's
console.
handheld, and
Yeah.
you know it's literally and also it's got that brilliant thing where you can just turn it on, do your three buttons, bang, you're straight back in the game. You know,
Yeah.
there's no
Well, yeah,
complicated
the Switch
interfaces
comes
and
with a dock, and I feel like, yeah, if you want to go a stage further and play it on your telly, fine. But that can be a bit intimidating to people. I know that
Hmm.
sounds a bit strange to you or me because we're quite happy to, rag the telly out, rip all its HDMI's out, and go at it like a backstreet guy pulling someone's intestines out. We're not that bothered. We'll go full ham on the back of it. But
Yeah.
to a younger kid or a female,
Mm.
that might be like, oh, I don't really know about the back of my telly. And that's not to insult the ladies. I know the vast majority of you are very switched on and tech savvy and everything, but we're talking the broader demographic here.
Yeah, and newer gamers, and especially even for parents who aren't gamers, the Switch is just the fail-safe because you can just say, "Yep, there's your Switch." You don't need to put it on a big
Literally
telly.
there.
Yeah, you don't need to put it on the telly. They don't need to take over the TV while your dad's trying to watch the news. There's your Switch. Where you go, and yeah, they've covered all angles with it. They definitely have.
Mm,
But yeah, Switch 2, that's that hard second album, isn't it? So it's gonna be interesting to see. Um,
yeah.
I think the actual format of the platform, they've smashed it. I think what they've done for the
Yeah.
handheld with the dock, you can put it straight in your TV. We take it for granted now, but when it first come out, that was something very different.
Oh, it was.
It was,
Absolutely.
it's a handheld and it's a console, and you just pop it in. That's on your telly. It's amazing. So if they have taken the right steps they've always been slightly behind Nintendo. Do you know what I mean? With like even was going back as far as the Wii, and you're still plugging AV cables in your telly. Do you know what I mean? They didn't make that jump, but if with this they've gone 4K, they've made it that bit bigger. It's got more memory. It can run bigger and better games. If they've done all that and just taken them, this hasn't got to be dramatically different. The format works, and then people who are in with that format will buy this.
Is this not going to be? Do you fear for a Nintendo that's just trapped reiterating on the Switch because they daren't try something crazy again, though?
Um, I don't know. I was talking to someone when I was at work the other day, and I sort of compared this to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Whereas when the
Mm,
first one come out, that's the only thing that worried me. The first one come out, and it was just like, wow, this is really different, and they smashed it out of the park. Now the second one, you've got to try and be bigger and better, but you still got to have the essence of what made that first one special.
that's right.
So, and although I love Tears of the Kingdom, and I put equally as much amount of time in Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild is still my favourite, because it had that wow factor when it first came out. Now the Switch 2, we've seen the dock, yes, we've seen you can take out, we've seen all that, so that wow factor's gone. So it needs to be quite special with the upgrades to make it that bit better. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I will hopefully be a day one adopter of it because I'm quite excited for it. But we'll see if it still has that wow impact.
I think it's got. I think it's got every chance, especially if you are locked in the Nintendo ecosystem. You've been
Yeah,
looking for an
definitely. Oh yeah,
upgrade for
definitely. And it's
years.
backward compatible, which is another side to that, which you think, oh yeah,
99.9%.
yeah.
I mean, we don't know if that's
Well, we know
Labo
what.
yet, or whether there is an element of some
Well, and
games that won't run. We just don't know, do we? We need more
well,
clarification.
and it's going to be like Switch Sports. You put your Joy-Con in your leg thing for Switch Sports. The Joy-Con's bigger; it's not going to fit. It's more likely going to be stuff like that, I think.
That's what gaffer tape's for.
Yeah, I mean, do I want to gaffer tape a Joy-Con 2 to my thigh?
Took it in your sock like a switchblade. Oh, hang on, that's a t-shirt idea.
Yeah, bada bing, stick it on that. Yeah, so I think it's mostly going to be bits and pieces like that where you interact or you have extra accessories that have to fit the Joy-Cons in, which won't fit now. So,
Mm.
and also they're probably rubbing their hands together. It means you have to go Nintendo Switch Sports 2, which will release with only 3 activities on, and then over about 5 years, we'll just put one activity a year on.
Don't forget. My son, as father follows son follows father, he's got all his stuff collected and displayed for his. I mean,
Bless
he
him.
was an avid Switch collector before he got his Xbox. Bless him. Bless his cotton socks. Such a good lad. And one of the things he's got on the shelf is his officially branded, ready to go leg strap.
He ain't
Still
got.
boxed, unsealed, because
Bless
he
him.
just tucks it in his sock because he's gangster. Um,
There he rolls.
Is how he rolls, switchblade in his sock. Yeah. Oh.
Uh, yeah, but I think about 450.
Imagine getting patted down in a club and the bouncer's like, "Hey up, Brian. Bit of help over here, mate."
He's he's
What's in your
packing.
sock? He's
He's
packing.
packing.
Right, lift your trouser leg up, mate. Bloody hell.
Oh, that's a Zelda Joy-Con.
It's a Zelda
Oh, it's
Joy-Con.
John, he's got a Zelda Joy-Con. I can get these. They're limited edition.
Let her pin him down, we'll have it.
Yeah, yeah. Offensive weapon.
Mace him. I can't see.
It's a bit harsh for the youth club. Jeez.
Yeah, it's just a little strong.
But yeah, I think
Why do you get the killer lines now? Why do I write the script where you get the killer lines? I'm jaded George. No one's meant to like me.
that's because I write them now. Um,
You're right. That's the literal difference, isn't it? When you're writing for yourself, you make yourself the hero. When someone else is writing for you, you become the enemy.
oh
What's that
yeah.
Batman quote? I live long enough to the hero or whatever it is. Someone tell me in community corrections. I normally know what it is, but right now I don't know anymore.
Should we go back to Switch 2?
I think I'm done with it.
Yeah, no, I think 450. I think 500 is a push, but let's be honest, they'll sell it. So they will sell it.
279 felt steep back in the day.
Yeah, you are right. You are right.
And as I saw a sticker on a game the other day, WrestleMania 2000, 49.99. Welcome to the year 1999. I mean, wow.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So whatever happens, that's going to sell gangbusters. I mean, they're expecting to sell what 20 million in the first year, which is just crazy. So
Got an 8 million stockpile ready to go.
mm,
They're coming out on the war footing.
yeah, yeah, it's good. It's going to be a banger, that, isn't it?
Wonder how long they'll concurrently run the two systems back to back with each other, or there'll be just a hard line for them and they'll go, no, switch to, end of story now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because
Being
they're
backwards
leaving
compatible as
behind
well.
such a huge audience. It would seem insane not for them to go kind of cross party, cross platform for a while.
It's a bit like PlayStation did with the PS4 and drag it along till enough
A-
people had a PS5. Then,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, pull them along with it.
absolutely. Because hang on a
Yeah.
minute, we're leaving probably the largest skew of consumers we've ever had. And we're going to switch to that Switch 2. There's a lot of switches in there. We're going to switch to the Switch 2 and just draw a line down on them like a
Mm,
guillotine. I mean,
mm.
that doesn't make any business sense.
No, no, they'll. I think it's going to be a bit of a slow transition over 2 or 3 years. I think.
I tell you what, there's several years worth of content for Digital Foundry there if they do have that cross-gen thing running.
Mm, that'll
My
be
God, they
interesting.
could retire off that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the kids on the run up to Christmas, just like, how bad is it going to be on my Switch One? Oh
Yeah.
God!
720p.
Mario running around with that face, or it's half hanging off as it's trying
Yeah.
to render it. Yeah, I can see it now.
They see it as we now see PS1.
Oh God! Oh God!
It's a blur, Mum. I need a Switch 2. It's
I
just a
mean,
blur. It's a
well,
mess.
there's another way of actually driving your people to your next console
Mm,
while also selling tat on your first console. Oof, that's
mm,
not a good look, is it?
no.
If a family-based friendly console all of a sudden almost ships you a zombie-like
Yeah, they
fest
got
of
like 8 switches in the house, and they go, right, you can't use that anymore in the new game. You need 8 Switch 2s, I'm afraid.
oh. Or they don't upgrade the game, and the difference between the Switch 1 and Switch 2 is literally the little noggin on the cart, which means you can't play it.
Ooh, but not 3DS.
Oh.
Oh dear, doesn't fit.
It's all right, get the original Switch version. Hang on, these graphics are the same. Oh, are they? Oh. It's a launch game for the Switch 2. Like, why is it? Save money, get it on the Switch.
So why are they launching with Breath of the Wild again?
Breath of the Wild 4K's coming, dude. I tell you
Yeah,
now.
that will do, yeah, without a doubt.
That's been doing the rounds behind the scenes for a while. So if they don't
Mm,
bring, if that comes as a free upgrade, literally, what's become of you, Nintendo? I
mm.
mean, is that the news?
I think we're there, aren't we?
I think we are. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I had some wrap up what you been playing, didn't I?
Ooh, I do believe this will be on a PlayStation. Duh. You like that?
PlayStation dub, baby. Dub.
Mm.
Double.
Duh.
Do the double. BS double. BS dub. Yeah. So as people know, I've been enjoying a little bit of True Crime Streets in New York, and I was playing it the other day, and I just thought to myself, because when you load up the game, it runs through these scenes of their incarnation of New York, and it's got this heat haze on it. I'm playing it on component and then forcing uh, progressive scan. It's one of the PS2 games that will let you do it, and it's one hell of a looker. And I was thinking, I don't remember LA looking this good. I mean, this looks almost like PS3.
Mm.
If someone had told me before GTA 3 had launched, this was GTA 3, I'd be like, wow, okay, wow. I mean GTA 4,
Mm.
sorry. Wow, okay, this is impressive.
I didn't realise that even had that progressive scan on it. I didn't realise you could even do it.
Yeah, and you can force it widescreen. You can do all sorts of stuff with it, and it kind of rolls through just these windowed sections. It's got the black bars on True Crime Streets in New York. It looks really good. And I thought to myself, I'm enjoying this. It looks great. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Let me get True Crime Streets of LA down off the shelf.
Mm.
Pop the console open. I thought,
Was
well,
that a backward step by any chance, George?
let me take you on a journey, friend. Uh,
Let me tell you on the journey, friend.
so I slapped it in the console, closed it. I thought it loaded up, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fresh actually. Yeah. Well, maybe I did misjudge it. Maybe I did. Went into the options. I thought, well, just make sure I can put it on surround sound because my system supports Pro Logic 2 as well. So I found that, like, oh,
Mm.
I'll put that on as I do on True Crime Streets New York, and it works really well.
Full experience.
Full experience. And as I was in the options, I found a section that said progressive scan. I thought, wow,
Mm.
well, I'll have a bit of that. So I selected it. Thought, yeah, see this in its full incarnation. Started a new game. Boom, uploaded this. Well, look like dog sick, if I'm honest with you. What I can
Oh.
say about True Crime Streets in New York is the textures are solid. Even though they're a bit blurry, they look good.
Mm.
In this, they hadn't bothered with texture, or if they had, it was like something's off Microsoft Paint. Um, and and Christopher Walken did the famous intro, but about I don't know 9/10 of the way through it, it just sort of cut off and went to a loading screen. It was almost so the game had got bored of its own drivel. Then it loaded into the section where you meet your female boss, and it was late at night, so probably could pin it on a couple of things to be fair. And I thought, no, 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 hang on, this isn't right. What's going on here? What? I'm all for inclusion, but I don't remember him having a female voice. And then I noticed that none of the words are matching up with the characters. And then I realised that the whole audio track was probably about 3 seconds behind the video.
Ooh.
I thought, this isn't right, this isn't right. And then before that cutscene had a chance to finish, the game got bored of its own cutscene and skipped itself again.
So
Black
it might have
loading
it
screen.
might have progressive scan, but it can't quite keep up with itself on progressive scan.
Well, I'm the only guy that's nerdy enough to have two copies of True Crime Streets of LA. One.
Wow. I mean, I know you go all in on things, but my Christ, son.
So I thought maybe there were two different versions. Maybe I've got the early release version that needed patching, and this snuck through. And I looked at the disc as I took it out of the console. And it is play worn, but not unplayable. I thought maybe that's it. So I got this other game out, looked on the back of it, literally brand new. There was a couple of fingerprints on it where someone had picked it up and probably thrown it back in the box after about 2 seconds. That's probably why it's mint. Popped it back in the machine, loaded it all back up again.
Maybe they
Selected.
tried to play it on progressive scan and thought, nope, and put it back in the box.
I think that's what happened, pal. Because you know it transpired to me the disc wasn't skipped. There was nothing wrong with the print run. This is how the game is. And at that moment, I yacked into a bag, threw the game console in, threw the con. No, I didn't throw the console. Threw the game into the sick bag, threw it to one side, and went back to True Crime Streets in New York, which is actually good. I did play a little bit of LA, and I mentioned to you before how disappointing the mechanic was, where I had to literally beat someone to death and then cuff them. In True Crime Streets of LA, they don't even bother with the cuffing. You just pound them into the ground until they die, and that's considered good cop. If you shoot them, even though it's the same result, that's bad cop. Some would argue a
Mm,
bullet
it's the
is
same
slightly
outcome
more
there.
merciful
Yeah.
than beating someone into a bloody pulp on the streets of LA. But there you go. RGT, we've done the what you've been playing.
Yes,
We've done the news. We've
we
done what
have.
you've been playing again. And now we're at the moment where some would say it's time for us to thank our supporters who pay to support the show on a monthly basis. Don't panic.
Hmm.
Don't panic. I know you're like, oh, they're one of these chancers. And we're not those chancers at all. We're just good lads, just trying to make the show pay its own way a little bit so we don't end
Hmm.
up bankrupt. Um,
Again.
yeah, and as CCJs are nothing, mate. To me, I wear them like medals. You spend your whole life wondering what they are, and then you get one and you don't want it.
Yeah.
I haven't got one, FYI. But
Yet.
yet, it depends how long this show rumbles on for, I suppose. Uh, Probably a restraining order or six and on tag, but no CCJ. Uh, but you guys are very kind. The show will always be free. Everywhere that you need to interact with us is free. There is a section on Discord for people that pay where they can get together with like-minded friends and have a little private area, but every other section of it is free. The Reddit is free, the website will be free, the show is free, it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. And it's not as though you're just paying for nothing. We're not one of those shows that just absorbs money and kicks you in the backside. You get merch. We've done some bits recently where even if you missed the early adopters, I've honoured my commitment to you and we've sent you a t-shirt and all that good stuff. And just so you know, we've got a new wave of artwork coming. It's a whole rebrand of the show. We're very excited about it. Very,
Mm,
very
mm,
excited
mm.
about it. And we're very excited to share a little bit more. Um, Without giving too much away, our good friend of the show, Harvey Retro, has been trying to do a little bit more of his artistry. And we've had him prepare some stuff for us very professionally that's towards a rebrand. So if you want to see what he's about, he's got an absolutely gangbusters YouTube channel called Enigmatic Productions. And he's also got an Instagram page now called Edward Harvey Art, where he's
Hmm.
putting up some of his professional work. And I encourage you, if you're listening, you've got your own show, or you know someone who's got a little bit something going on, or you've got a business or whatever. I think he would sell himself out to anyone
Mm.
with class, though. You know, he's the sort of guy that leaves an after eight on the side when he's done. Uh,
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Although, to be fair, I thought it was an after eight. It was dark, but it was a kind of a square package. It was minty, but it was very rubbery. So I'm not exactly sure it was an after
Mm.
eight. But in my mind, I like to imagine
Did it
he's
have sort of a sort of slimy texture, or was it more?
yeah, it was like chewing gum that just wouldn't
Mm.
ever kind of bend, really.
I had one of them. I could not blow a bubble with it. I blew and blew, and I just it was
I
yes
think
the
if you hold it on
toughest.
your lips and push really hard, I think
Oh wow.
you can, yeah, you can blow a bubble with it if you try hard enough. Jam
Mm.
it between the gap on your front teeth and just blow like an absolute hooligan, and it'll
Yeah, I
inflate.
nearly passed out last time, but I'll give it a go.
Mm.
Mm.
So he's the sort of character that's classy enough to leave an after eight on your bedside afterwards. So Edward Harvey Art, check him out. Please do. Friend of the show. Um, he's got some good stuff going on over there, and he's also starting to indulge some more of his kind of filmic wants and needs.
Mm.
He put up an answer phone message the other day, which was very humorous.
Mm.
When you can say
Brilliant.
the word Cliff Richard, Boob, and Ginster sliced within 30 seconds of each other, you know you're onto something pretty solid.
Mm. Without a doubt, that was funny. It was brilliant. He's perfect for this show.
And I'll be honest with you, I did message him and say, a little bit too close to comfort, mate, because I've left those messages. I've left those messages.
Mm.
So yeah, very excited. We're thinking April. We're hoping we can get our act in order to do that at once.
Hmm.
So RGT, the man behind the scenes, the executive producer, will be reaching out to you soon to find out wants and needs. No doubt, RGT.
Yes, yes, we've done all the spreadsheets and bits and pieces. We know who's getting what and who wants what. We've had a couple of people actually upgrade to get a few bits, which is fantastic. And
Hey,
thank you.
listen,
You know, we
thank you.
appreciate everyone from $3 to $10, but yeah, brilliant.
And don't
So,
forget, it's dollars, okay?
mm,
No disrespect to the American listeners, but it's not real money, it's monopoly, okay? So this is, you're paying us $3. It literally probably translates to Well, being serious now, it probably translates to about 275, but it's not quite the £3 that you think it is when you click on it.
Yeah.
It's all done in dollars. We're a worldwide show, so we need to be accessible by everybody,
Mm,
and the worldwide currency is dollars.
mm,
So that's what we charge you in.
hmm
But don't worry, because it does do the exchange rate, so you do pay slightly less.
mm.
And for that, there's the myriad of things you can get at $3, and you can go all the way up to what is it, $8 or $10 RGT? I'm thinking
$10, yeah, three
$10.
to ten.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, 3, 5, 8, and 10. We've tried to do it so everyone's including everything, but as you go up the grades, you just get a little bit more merch as you go along.
There's
So
been a reorganization to make it slightly
yeah,
more.
so basically, even if you're $3, you get unglorious chat, you get the Zoom meetup, and right from the get go. So everyone's involved in that, and basically, as the money goes up, you get that little bit extra merch as you go along. So
Now we were going to do a Zoom chat today, but for a fair reason and well for a myriad of reasons it fell through. But
yeah,
I'm suggesting that next time we do a live recording,
hmm yeah, we did chat about this. So
yeah, of an episode, and you guys will be in the background, but we'll also pull you in to interact, so you can get that
hmm
moment where you can tell Mumsy that you're a radio star. I forgot we're on YouTube now, so you're a video star as well. So
yeah.
it doesn't really. You get to be on your favourite show, so hopefully that should encourage a few more of you. I know, look, you're all busy lives, and we're all trying to organise
Mm.
stuff, and it's a bit like herding cats at times.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had sort of, you know, I think look, sometimes we have up to sort of 7 or 8. This time we had about 2 or 3, and we thought, well, I'd rather do it so we have more people on. You know, you're
it's
good
fair.
enough. It's good
It's
enough
fair.
that you've done it. So let's try and do it when more people can be there. I know them 3 weren't able to go on there, and I'm sorry about that. But if we can do it where we have more of us on, then we're still giving you that little bit of reward of being on there, and
Absolutely.
we'll do a show out of it, and you can come on the show, and we'll interact with you with the news and
Yeah.
bits and pieces,
So
and
you'll see me say hello and welcome to an official controller podcast, and you can all cringe behind yourselves as we do it. Don't worry if you haven't got studio quality gear; it does not matter. We'll make it
no,
work one way or the other. We'll get it right
exactly,
in the edit. You can do it
yeah,
on your phone. You can use some headphones, whatever. It does not matter. If you don't want to
yes.
be on the screen, equally cool. Just put up a picture of your cat. If you haven't got a cat, picture of a soiled medical glove on a piece of grass is equally as fine. I don't know where that came from, RGT. I really have no idea.
No,
But
I
JD
don't
George
know where it
said
come
it.
from.
He said
Yes,
it. He
yes, that
did.
weren't you. That was Jade and George. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm a method actor. It takes me a couple of hours to come down. Takes me a couple of hours to come up.
Okay, I have heard. Um,
Simmer down.
sorry, I'm excited this week.
I can
Um,
tell.
yeah, I am. I'm excited. Do you
Someone would think you just sort of bum rushed a couple of cans of crafty.
I'm professional, darling. I would not do that. Oh, hang on, we're video now, aren't we? Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
That was apple juice, very
yeah.
thick apple
You
juice.
were talking about Nintendo, and in the background on the there's me shotgun and a can of hazy pale ale.
Gagging on it like a Viking on a horn. It's just pouring down either side of your
All
beard.
while you're chatting away, all I can hear is
RGT.
what? I was drinking a can of
The
drink.
podcast users just thought that you'd
No, I
gone
was drinking a
down.
can of drink.
You'd gone
That's
down
your mind.
south.
No,
No,
no, no,
if
no,
I'd
no,
been
no.
driving down the A423, I'd have been like, hang on a minute, rewind. What just went on there?
That's the perfect sound of drinking a can of beer.
Going brown.
Anyway, right, onto the list. You started last week, so I think it's my turn to start this week.
Okay.
So I will start with Cnox. Thank you very much, Cnox from Sweden. We appreciate it.
The show's own Viking.
Oh, yeah.
Vikingra. Which means I get the most beautiful man.
He is beautiful, actually. I will give him that.
There's many people out there that have numerous fan clubs, but I don't need thousands. I need one, a one-man army. He's built like a robot. He's
Hmm.
cybernetic. He's literally got the podcast wired into his skin. He sees through YouTube videos of us only. His interaction, his interpretation of the world is one big unofficial controller podcast video.
Yep.
He has no idea what his own family look like because he looks at them and it kind of just blurs mine or your face on them.
That's probably just your face because it's the one man George fan club.
I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry, Carlos. You're right. Everyone in his world looks like me.
Mm. Poor bloke. Jeez.
When he looks in the
Um,
mirror, he sees me.
oof. Oh, I sent a shiver down my spine. Oh,
What, in a
bless you.
sexual way, or?
If you need to chat, Carla, just let me know. Um, next up, we have the wonderful Firm Returns. Thank you very much for all your help and everything.
Thank you,
That's
sir. We
very
do
much appreciated.
appreciate you.
Yes.
Which means I get to thank the wonderful Trestles, New York, a place where we
Mm,
filmed. You keep talking about ASMR, but we did an actual ASMR show in there
mm,
with some of the best food in New York. So thank you again to you guys for that and supporting us to this day.
mm-hmm. Then we've got Bada Bing Star. Thank you very much, young man.
Everybody stand up! Everybody sit down, sir. Bada bing, sir. Buongiorno, come stai? Sì, prego. E non c'è male. De nulla. Stammi bene, bada bingster. Stammi bene.
Anyway, it's you next. So after
Okay, so
that,
now there's an image, I have to admit,
here we go.
of a statue of the perfect man.
And I know who that'd be.
It's Tingle Tuna.
Mm-hmm.
Every single element of his proportions is perfect in
Mm.
every way. It's not too big, it's not too small. Some areas are big, some areas are perfect in every single way. His face, hewn in marble as it is, and I've seen he's now sporting what I would call probably one of the most devilishly dishy, handsome moustaches I have ever seen a man wear.
Mm.
I pray you've been able to hold down Mrs. Snow. You're not holding her down. Keep her at bay with the razor because that thing needs to survive. You look almost like a suave version of Nigel Havers.
Well, I was going to say I haven't been this aroused since Magnum.
What, the ice cream?
Yeah, and PI.
Okay, who's next?
Anyway, right, that's out of the way. Next, we have the wonderful Digital Monkery. He's a bit of the Discord police. He's a bit of the old challenge accepted. He's a bit of the old screenshot competition.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
us going behind the scenes, bless him. So, yeah, thank you very much as always.
Without him, it'd be a true free for all in the Discord and it'd be chaos.
Exactly.
Which means I get. Now, I don't know why he calls himself the Gaming Gram, because this guy brings so much gaming goodness and handsomeness that he should be called the Gaming Kilogram.
Mm, very good.
Mm.
Next up, we have the wonderful board bo- board border, bald border. We
You've
got
got a
that the wrong
full
way
head of
around.
hair, so work that one out for yourselves.
Yeah, bald border. Thank you very much as always.
Which means I get. I've come
Here we
dressed
go.
as him. I couldn't find my
Here we
specs.
go.
I couldn't find my specs, okay? But I've come dressed as him. Look at this. Look at the attention to detail that I've gone to. Come on.
It's a bit creepy now, but carry on.
He's looking around in his room now. He's like, has
Yeah.
he? Has he?
Is he
No.
in? Is he in my cupboard? I swear he's recording in my cupboard. Has he
Why
got
have I
my?
got a picture of
Yeah,
Mike Brewer in my cupboard?
yeah. Why has he got my gold LP?
From his boy band days in North Korea. Why? I don't know. Uh, Going brown, boba loba. Who is
And I
the
will
true
apologise.
sheriff of the Discord? So we are very grateful for
Yeah,
everything you do behind the scenes.
and I still apologise for last week. Apologise for last week for not saying actually boba. I just sat here and said Gernbrand, which I forgot to add your name on, which probably creeped a few people out. So I do
You want to
apologise for
say it
that.
twice just to make sure it's right?
What?
Well,
Gern.
just pay forward a bit. No, not that. You've already said
Oh,
that more times than necessary.
oh, right. Okay. Say what then?
Say his actual name.
What Gernbrand?
Oh my god.
No,
Boba,
boba
Boba,
loba.
Boba. Just conjure him
Yeah,
up like
yeah,
the Sandman or something.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
The Sandman. Right.
Now, this next gentleman.
I
There's
do
many
believe it's me.
people. I want this, please.
Oh, we're changing the order again. I know what's going to
No,
happen. I
we'll
know
go
what's going
back.
to happen when you change this order, and that's going to be me on filth again, isn't it?
I don't know.
That bloody will be. I know it. There
Listen,
we go.
after this, I want you to put the bump the record till it's back exactly where you want it. Okay, if it means me doing another one on the bounce, I'll do it. Okay,
Okay, all
but I
right.
want this because most men would turn up to what I would call a pot noodle family, which is AKA just add dad, just add wage. Okay, it's already provided for you. You just got to turn up. Okay, and if they saw a red-headed stepson, they'd run a mile. I didn't. I didn't. I love this kid. I drew him into my bosom like one of my own. I love you, Ginge, for everything you do for the show, for everything you do for us. Your supporter. You're such a handsome devil. I wish I could say I helped 50% contribute you, but I 100% helped raise your son, and I'm super proud of you.
Wow.
That's Ginge. My boy. In a way, he's the second one man army, but he plays it cool.
Mm. He's sort of the undercover.
He's the muscle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See what I'm doing there?
If you know he's not Dan, you're not coming in.
What if it's Andrew?
Step back from George, please. Step back from George, please. Thank you. Way you go,
Don't touch
Dad.
his face. Don't
Way you
touch
go,
his face.
Dad. Way you go. Yeah.
Well, I saw a bidding war on. I say a bidding war. In my imagination, it was a bidding war, but
I was
but
going to say you might want to tell the truth, not actually what you imagined.
I think DM was sending a sweat warm but George touched George UCP T-shirt from
Oh yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Timeless Gaming Convention. If hopefully he's sending it to Carl so he can wear it. I don't know. You tell me. I've got the squeakiest chair ever today.
I gathered that. Yeah.
Can you
Um,
hear it?
I can hear it. Yeah.
I'm bouncing around on it like a kid with ADHD, and after a couple of cans of like Panda Pop, if I'm honest with you. Is that not okay?
Anyway, next we've got Harvey Retro, the Lord of
The show's
Darkness.
conscience, as always.
Yes. Thank you very much. And obviously, thank you for everything you've done as well, because it is absolutely superb. And I know we keep saying it each week, but it'll be worth the wait. So thank you.
Which means I get
Oh, dear.
always to the point, always looking dressed to the nines, especially in her official UCP T-shirt. It's Emma Sharp.
Thank you, Emma. Then we have got, well, I don't know where he is at the moment.
Pull up a pew. I want this to be a long one.
You always say that, and you're always disappointed. Um, I have no idea where he is. We have asked, we have messaged, and I know I said this last week. You know, we speak regularly, but he never tells us his location. And I keep saying to him, you know, are you near here? Are you near there? Are you near that place? No, he says. No, I'm not. He says, how many times do I have to tell you every week? All I can say is, I'm nowhere near Berlin. Thank you, Greg.
Not many people can say this, but that means I get to have Mumsy.
Again. And then I get,
Join the queue.
speaking of queues, I get the RGT fan club. And I'll thank all of you. All of you. Thank you very much, Mum and
I'm not
Dad.
jealous. I think in the law of the show, this is what led me to become Jaded George.
What, my fame and popularity?
Your ever rising fame and popularity, and
Me sort of
my
slowly leaving you behind by.
yeah, me bent prostrate on the ground, and you using me as a step to
Mm,
raise yourself up on. Hmm.
mm,
Hmm.
yeah. Shame that. Right, you're up next.
Okay. Well, this man once need a mini, an original. I'm not saying a new mini, an original mini. Got thrown at him. A car accident came careering off an embankment where we were walking. Pete Brocklehurst just saw it, just flicked it the knee. Boom, back up on the road. No questions
He's
asked.
a tough boy, isn't
He's
he?
nails.
He's a tough boy.
He is nails.
Next, then we have Billy Marmite. Thank you very much again, Billy. Your support is always,
Good for your
always
brain,
appreciated.
Marmite.
Yeah, it is apparently. I hate Marmite, but that says it all. Right, you're right.
Made himself a cracking banger again. What did you give me? Oh, mate, this isn't right. It's time I got the keyboard out again. So who do I get? Tell you what. He rides a bike. His name's Simon Pryke.
It took you quite a while to come up with that, didn't it?
There were several routes I could have gone,
I
and
know, and I
luckily in
actually
the
had
marsh,
a little drip of sweat just run down my forehead. I was thinking, please God, no.
it was like that marsh in Lord of the Rings where they're like, "Oh, don't get too close," and I was like, "Oh, crikey, just focus on the light, keep walking, keep
Yeah,
walking."
yeah, yeah. Well done. And see, this has ended up where I didn't want it to be again.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it full force if you want.
I'd, I would probably don't say full force
No,
because,
I'm saying it. He's the girth master of the show. No arguments from me, and that's why it's very easy, very, very easy for me to just slip into. No, what am I thinking? No one ever slips into him. He slips into me. That's Hanky.
Jesus Christ. But we're going to be banned, I think. Anyway,
Is this the show that jumped the shark? I mean, if there's 261 in, probably that happened in episode 3. One, the pilot.
first part of the pilot, first 10 minutes of the pilot. That's
I tell you what, in years to come, there'll be like a YouTube documentary documenting the fall of the show.
that. Just remember this moment.
And this will be, I
Yeah,
would love someone who's actually talented enough to put together like an almost mockumentary rise and fall of the UCP. Oh, I'll go so far as say it almost painful. Like a 2 hour long sit down, eat popcorn. Like, wow, is that a conspiracy theory? It's like, I never knew. Um, yeah, I would pay. I think I'd pay. An hour and 20, I think, might be enough. It might be stretching it, but
and
something along.
that's going to be a stretch. I mean,
Dude, if you think about the hours of content we've put out, I know a lot of it was audio, but my God.
well, yeah, you're probably looking 500 hours, aren't you? So,
Easily more.
mm, mm.
Imagine some of the Seb bangers we've had on. That's like 3 of
It's a
those. It's
night
like
shift.
Lord of the Rings extended edition. I sometimes get halfway through a show with Seb and I'm like, wake up, I'm like, where am I? What's going on?
I'm late for work.
I mean, I'm all for content, but what the hell's happening
Yeah.
here? Wake up, I got my mic in print. I'm like, what?
I've got a gold account turned up from Zoom. Bless him.
Oh, he'll be back soon as well. So we've got,
Yes.
return. And if anyone wants an update, we always try and keep the show open. I've had time out the show. RGT's had time out the show.
Yep.
OG Tommy's perpetually on time out from the show. But everyone, obviously, that's ever been a host is always welcome back, and we do try and keep a carousel to stop
Mm,
the skill fade and to keep it interesting for you guys as well. Um, it's not easy to sit in here and talk. Well, actually, it probably is, to be fair. But there needs to be some level of something in the background. So, hopefully you enjoy all the hosts and, we'll be
mm,
back to a rotation very soon. But everyone deserves a holiday and everyone, gives to the show, but also has a lot of other things going on in their lives as well. So
mm,
we're always very grateful to all our hosts. OG
definitely.
Tom, F's in the
Mm,
chat. He's doing well. Just an update from you guys, just to let you know everything's going well. If you know a bit of the non-law reality behind the show, he's doing great. So that's good news. Bobby, he's just very busy at the moment outside of the show, so we wish him the best and hope everything's going okay for him and the beautiful Eva. Seb's just had a rotation where he's just had other stuff going on, work commitments, etc. So he's just took some time out from the show, but we're ready to welcome back the King of the Indies, Triple S. And Scotty, he pulled an absolute shift back end last year and
hmm
into this. So it's time for him just to sit down and dedicate to his own life a little bit. But we're
Exactly.
very excited to welcome him back. And RGT, ever the glutton for punishment, here you are again, my friend. I'm
hmm
kind of contractually obliged to turn up a little bit more than most, I would say.
Yeah,
Uh,
occasionally.
yeah, occasionally,
Yeah.
every now and then I have some time out. And there will
Mm,
be some moments where, again, I know sometimes I dress this up as law, but this is reality. Getting married this year, So there will be some mid-July moments where I'm off air,
Hmm.
I'm afraid. But hopefully we can record some bits before or after. It depends how busy I get.
Yeah,
But
we've got a few ideas brewing, haven't we? So there's going to be
we've made a
be
pretty
some good
strong
stuff.
commitment that we need to have a bloody good reason not to put some content out these days. So we're always here for you. I see this show as that shoulder to cry on a Monday morning when you wake up and you think, "Oh God, not again!" I can't face this anymore. At least I've got the boys to walk me to work, drive me to work on the bus, in the car, on the skateboard, in the hover bike, whatever it is you're doing. If it's in the year 2050, you're probably on the surface of Mars, looking back at that distant blue marble, thinking, "Oh, did they actually record this drivel down there? Fair play to you, boy. Fair play to you, son." Uh, my great grandson wants to get to know his grandfather that he never even knew a little bit better, so he's come to YouTube to have a look at him in his past his prime, and then also start the family search. Was he in a North Korean boy band?
Yeah, my
Is
great great
he is
granddad
he
was a.
is he the illegitimate son of Mike Brewer?
Mm.
Why doesn't his sign light up? All the conspiracy theories for the show I know and love. RGT, we've arrived. Actually, rewind to everyone that
Did
supports us. Hmm.
you like that?
It sounded like you're reversing the ASMR sound of you drinking a can of crafty. Mm.
You love that sound.
Depends where it's coming from. Listen, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that listens, everybody that watches. Um, Please take the time to tell a friend, drop a comment, a like, or something on any of the content, no matter where you find it. If you want to show us how much you love us, or you don't want to give us any money, you want to be one of the free ones, one of the silent but violent, as we call you, that's not on the Discord, but we know listens every week. You're right, RGT.
Yeah, sorry. Water went down the wrong hole.
Mm. I'm
Just
leaving. I'm not.
yeah, just leave that one there. Just carry on what you were saying. Thank all the listeners.
If yeah, we thank you very much. But if you're silent and violent, and you don't want to pay. Listen, a like or a comment on a video costs nothing, and we
Mm,
super appreciate that because it's going to help us with the visibility and the
yeah, even
algorithm.
a little review or something on your podcast supplier. A little
Just take
review is
2 minutes
brilliant.
out, and you know what?
Yes, makes a big
If
difference.
I see a wave of good reviews, and I mean 100 plus, we'll pick the best one. We'll find you,
Hmm.
and we'll send you a T-shirt and mug. How's that sound?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Mm-mm.
Mm,
So get busy. With that all said and done, once again, thank you to everyone that helps support the show. Thank you to everyone that talks on the Discord. Thank you to everyone that comments on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Mountain, or whatever it's called, Blue Sky. Yeah, that place. Yeah, went down gangbusters, guys. Absolutely brilliant. There, Reddit, whatever. I don't care. Just wanna let's just grow the show. Let's keep it going. We need more love. Basically, I'm lonely. I know RGT is.
mm, desperately.
Desperately.
Well, yeah,
No,
desperately.
yeah.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Don't back up on that. No, back up on it now for the audio listeners.
Whew,
Which leaves me with only one thing to say.
that's a big inhale there.
Into play RGT this gaming week.
Well,
Bit of
starting.
Lego City Undercover. Uh,
Why am I Cornish?
I said
Proper
Lego
job.
City Undercover, not Lego City Me Lover.
And that's Cornish as well. Terrible. Can't even do a Suffolk accent. No, well, from tonight, actually, I'll start the other way around. We're going to be playing
It's one of those
Firewatch
moments,
straight after this.
RGT, where it's like those images are the same.
That's not. It's very different.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. So Firewatch tonight, as of recording the show, so we'll be playing that. So,
Question. I
are you
know
listening to me?
I am listening
You're
to you,
not.
but you reminded me. I don't know how. Do you remember when, for a while, I tried to get you called Rim God Thomas?
Oh, I've still called that. Thank you. I'm still shouted that out
What
of
was the
a.
one I came up with the other day? I think when we were off air.
I can't remember, and I'm quite glad I can't because it's probably going to be another insult.
Oh, it
But
was so good though.
someone has me in their phone as Rimguard. So even where his partner said, "Who the hell is that?" On your, I was ringing him, and it come up with Rimguard.
Oh,
So his wife's questioning him, "Who the hell is that?" Oh, it's Tom. Why do you call him that? Oh, it's a bit of a long story, but yeah, he goes beep beep in his car. Oh, Rimguard. Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah,
anyway, what are you
yeah.
playing?
Well, before I was really interrupted, I was saying that tonight after the show, we'll be playing Firewatch. Me and Mrs. RGT, or she'll be playing Firewatch, and I'll be sitting and well, probably drinking. Um,
So you're just going to drink yourself into an absolute coma on the sofa while she plays gaming to appease you and be that ultimate wife that you want her to be, the trophy wife, the gamer wife.
yes, and
Hmm,
then I will.
nice.
Oh, and I'll do this in your way. I'll play some more Lego City Undercover, and then I will be playing some more
Why are you from
Dishonored.
Suffolk?
Oh, you're a jeez! Don't you wink at me, you datty little boy. Some more Dishonored.
Absolutely. Of all the things we've said, that kind of took me. Hang on a minute. Pulled on my very spinal cord. That I don't know why.
And I did. What did I? I downloaded something on my Switch the other day, and I cannot remember what it was. That's that interesting. I saw it on Switch Up, so it's a game on the Switch I'm going to be playing. But I think we're completely soured what I'm going to be playing. So anyway, let's just go over to say, what are you hoping to play?
I've absolutely no idea at this point, mate. I should probably stumble in now and play a little bit of.
Farming Simulator.
I don't know. I'm back home, so the big screen's to be shared. So it might be some Valhalla, and maybe I'm just going to watching beautiful Rachel play Sims 4 all night.
Has she started talking like him yet?
Yeah. No, thank God.
That
Uh,
won't be long.
well, before we started recording, she said, "Oh, is Sims 4 on here?" I said, "Oh no, babe. Is there any way I can play it?" So, well, I think you can stream from the PS4 at yours, but I don't know how healthy that would be. Uh, I'll tell you what, I'll download it on here. And as I did, I just watched like the PS5. It kind of just looked at the Pro as well. It was like that. Wait,
You
mate.
what? Whoa, whoa, whoa! You what?
Yeah.
Hey, George, what's this? What?
Oh, you're doing an impression of the
Yeah.
console. Yeah. Sorry, I thought my mic had come unplugged or something.
No, no, it's your console. Just looking at you, just turning around and
Oh no, I
completely
don't
shut.
think it was as innocent as that. It was a bit more like, mate, we're done.
Mm. Oh, power's gone off on it. Yeah,
Valhalla's been a stretch. Okay, Farming Simulator's been a stretch, but this, absolutely no. All this extra horsepower, foot. That's one thing I noticed. Okay, we've played on that PS4 Pro at hers. We've played like Death Stranding, GTA 5, all of it. Right, never really broke that much of a sweat. I've always kept it quite clean. So the fans kicked in. It's not been too obnoxious.
Mm.
Sims 4.
Really?
Oh my god.
Why is that then?
I've no idea. The game's constantly on PS4 Pro. It's constantly hanging, constantly crashing, constantly booting back to the front menu.
Mm.
Oh, it's. I bet she's having a great experience on. This is great on here. Is it
Mm. What's that
brilliant?
smell of burning?
Oh, it's even killed the spider.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's killed herself like your PS3, I expect.
The killer
Yep.
of consoles.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, tonight maybe a bit of that. I think, to be honest, if I'm being absolutely honest, I might just kick back and watch a movie. I've been
Mm.
exhausted. I've had
Busy
one
week.
hell of a week.
Mm.
I didn't even think I was going to make it make it to Friday at one point, but somehow I did it. It's the weekend now. We're halfway through it. I'm about to wake up with the Sunday blues. Luckily, I don't live with the premises high enough to sort that job out. Uh, and next week's, for all intents and purposes, looking like even worse than this one. So, yeah, to everyone out there working the 9 to 5 grind, I see you.
Mm.
I see you.
Yeah,
And
without a
and
doubt.
that's why the show will always be free, and we'll always do our absolute level best to make sure it's in your rotation Sunday, ready for your Monday.
Hmm.
And we'll always try and give you as much as we can, depending on the content that's out there at that moment, to make sure that we can go as far into that week as possible. So you've always got your 2 friends, 3, 4, 5, 6 friends there, always on the low key, ready to go. And don't forget, if you've only just found this, you've got one hell of a back catalogue to work through, so you'll never be lonely again. Um,
Definitely.
you know, there's always another day, all
Hmm.
right, and that's what this show's all about. And really, RGT, that draws us up. I suppose during the week, I'm probably going to have a little bit more Zelda. I've always got a little bit of Resident Empire on the go, but I don't like to bring that up every week.
Mm.
I don't think I'm going to play any PS2 tonight because it's just a bit obnoxious, if I'm honest, to
Mm.
modern gamers' eyes, and they're not mine, by the way. And yeah, just maybe have a little bit of dabble later in the week. So I've got some late nights this week, so probably try and maybe grab 5 minutes on the portal and continue my Indiana Jones experience. See if I can get that canola ready for harvest. Yeah.
Mm.
You anything more to impart to the listener, RGT? Or the viewer, I should say.
Oh, the viewer now, yeah. No, I think it's about it, really. To be honest, I think we've covered most things. Yeah, just like I say, thanks to everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for everyone who subs and yeah, all your support and brilliant. And like I say, if you could just leave us a little review or a little like here and there or a comment on YouTube, it really helps the old algorithm. So yeah, thank you very much.
Literally costs nothing, all right?
Hmm.
And if you do enough of them, maybe you'll get a t-shirt. Maybe you
Never
get a
know.
mug. Maybe you'll get an actual physical handhold from me. But that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. I look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, RGT.
Later.